New time. There we go, recording in progress. Thank you so much for taking your time out for tonight's call. Or if you're watching back on the replay. So tonight I am talking to you about leading the team to success, stepping up when other people are stepping down, and the secret sauce of a killer month end. Right, okay, so first things first. Hi, Rhoda. Right, we've got 2 weeks left. If you didn't already know that, we've got 2 weeks until 2025 is done. Now, we have spoken consistently about these last couple of months about keeping on point with your niche, not being distracted, about leading by example. How your energy is going to be showing up first. That's going to be the best message. We've been talking about getting clear and precise on what your actual message is. And this is something that I want to talk about with you tonight. And it's a really, really important one, which is why I think it's quite poignant that we say it's important to be consistent. And here I am consistently saying the same thing over and over again, but with a different twist each week and with some other connotations added into it. So by now, as a leader cohort, we should know for our own individual businesses, not just for leading our teams, but what our actual message is. So, what is your niche? What is your brand? What is it that you what is that is so passionate to you? What is it that you cannot go a day without talking about? That's what you need to be honing in on. And your message, you need to make sure that you are crystal clear on that. And if you're not, and I know some of you are on this call and maybe, we've had this discussion before and maybe you're not crystal clear about it. Please just take 10, 15 minutes out of your day, your evening, just put pen to paper and just, even if it's like a pretty picture, like a diagram, a pictogram, a spidergram, think about what it is that you want to make sure that is the undercurrent of every single topic of your conversation that you're having, and it's going to be multifaceted because you're going to be thinking of it in terms of how you're leading your team, how you are speaking to potential customers, how you're speaking to your audience, your actual customer base, and then also those people that you're bringing on board. But there's going to be a few key points that you can associate with your niche and your message. So, just for example, for the past 9 years, I have primarily spoken a lot about body positivity, and I've used my own personal experience with that. I don't always refer back to the postnatal depression that I had that initiated it because I've moved on a lot from there. But your actual story and what it is that your message, it's going to evolve. And I've noticed that as I talk about body positivity now, from the premise of being in a nutrition and wellness business, is sometimes I can feel like I'm a bit confusing and conflicting, going from some of the comments I've had other people make to me. So this is something where I have literally sat and put pen to paper and had to think about this. And it's okay for you to look at your message and to see that maybe it's changed from a year ago. Maybe it's changed from 3 months ago, 6 months ago. Maybe you saw something that made you question what your message is. That's okay. It's absolutely okay. I think what's the important thing is, again, we've been talking about this consistently, is showing up authentically. And it's crucial for every now and then to reflect and make sure that you are aligned with your message. Those are not just words, these are words that you will hear lots of people say in the industry and from this team in particular. Be aligned with your message, but you have to actually dissect that and think, right, okay, am I being aligned with my message? And if you're feeling in any way like at some kind of dis-ease with what it is you're saying, or you seem somewhat conflicted, you need to hone in on that and be authentic and talk about it. Open it up to a discussion. We're pharmacy influencers, and anyone that shows up on social media, whether you've got 100 followers or a million followers, you are in a position of influence, and it doesn't matter what that audience, what your social media space looks like. This is a forum for you to speak about the things that you value and to get that message across because it's important to you. And it's also really good and quite enriching to open it up to a public forum and have a conversation and to see what other people want to say, what's people's feedback. For instance, I'm very aware that when I spoke about body positivity a couple of years ago, I was in a state where I was with another brand. I was losing a lot of weight. I was very, very active, completely different lifestyle. My children were of different ages. Um, and then in between that, you've had a global pandemic. People are more focused on wellness. And then you've got the whole skinny jab era. So you've got a lot of people who, under the premise of body positivity, have been larger ladies and primarily talking about ladies. And then all of a sudden they've like gone down to these teeny tiny people and the amount of criticism that's opened up. So this is all things that I'm aware of and I have been hyper aware of it. And it's made me think, right, okay, I need to make sure that I'm showing up responsibly, I'm showing up authentically, and I'm staying aligned with my message. And I need to make sure that the key emphasis there is that I am aligned with that message. And sometimes you have to accept that your message may change or evolve as public opinion might change, your response to it, your where you are in your life. So this may go over some people's heads if you're not on the same sort of message as I am. But I think the point of me sharing this with you is you've got to be open to how people are responding to the content that you're putting out there. Are you being responsible with your level of influence, regardless of what level of that influence it is? And like I said, are you still aligned with that message? And that is really, really important. And I've tied that in with the focus that we are likely to have going into January. So although we have beauty and we've got skincare, we've got a men's line and everything like we've got nutrition, come January, the general consensus is people have New Year's resolutions. And a lot of it is to do with self-love, it's active self-love, well-being, and what that looks like for other people, and weight loss. And having different habits, changing their lifestyle, changing their habits, getting rid of the old and welcoming the new, creating boundaries and making decisions that align with what they want. And for us, that ties in really well with nutrition and the new products that are going to be launching in Madrid, which is all very, very exciting. That's going to be an extension of our nutrition line. So I am thinking, okay, so I'm on my own health and wellness journey. I've noticed that there's a shift in how people are thinking around the whole body positivity movement. So I need to make sure that I'm aligned with that and I'm being responsible with my message. So in the post that I am putting out there, the content I am putting out there, that is going to be I'm making sure that it's aligned. So my message to you guys is whatever that is. So Lorraine, you've mentioned your recovery journey is have an evaluation of it, have a look, and there's nothing wrong with doing research and seeing what your target audience, what are their thoughts on this now, like your recovery journey, if you were not long after beginning it at this point now might look a little bit different. So it's quite good to reflect on that and then to have that as a talking point and to open it up to discussion with people. And I think that when you've got that clarity of what your message is and you're opening yourself up to having a discussion with it amongst your audience and staying true to those people who you want that message for and making sure that you're aligned with it, it's going to build trust. It's going to build trust and it's going to build authority. And your leadership element to that is that that's not just you becoming a leader because you've got people in your team. You're becoming a leader because you're on social media and you're using your influence to lead other people into making a decision that is in line with what your values are, what those shared values are, and what that shared vision is. So those leadership skills that you are going to acquire by showing up as your authentic self and with that alignment and that crystal clear clarity of message is going to be helping you with your own personal business, but it's also going to be mirrored in how you actually lead your team. And that's going to include setting the tone for your new customers that come on board and that are a part of your community, and also those people that are going to be coming on board and be part of your community as part of your team. So it's really, really important to stay sharp with your message, knowing who you're serving, refusing to dilute yourself. That's really important for short-term attention. An example of that is when you see these trends and you jump on those trends and it's kind of a distraction. And yes, it might boost your algorithm, maybe you're getting more engagement, but it's not the right kind of engagement because you've kind of like pushed out those people who you're originally talking to in the first place. So it's really important that you are crystal clear with what your message is and you stay true to that. So although we've said this over the past few months, I wanted to just spend a little bit more time getting more clarity on what that actually looks like so that we start the new year with that crystal clear vision and clarity of exactly what it is that you want to be saying, what that message is, who you are, what you're standing for, what your viewpoint is. And part of your story as well, which I can hold my hands up, I need to share that more as well, is that is going to show an evolution. You can't be sharing the same story of, why pharmacy, what it's done for you and how it's going when you joined the company almost 2 years later. It cannot possibly be the same story. You've got to allow for the evolution of it because if you're not showing that you've had any sort of growth, then what have you been doing? You kind of been stagnating this entire time. I wanted to also, so that was what I wanted to share with in terms of management messages, management. Okay. Right, so next one, something that I've had a really good win with and a really good idea, and this is with samples, 100%. So a product that I've found has been really, really helpful, particularly these last couple of weeks, and with kid has been poorly, has been the recharge. Because honestly, energy it's like it's one of those commodities, those things that when do you remember like if you're in your 20s, or do you remember like I look back to when I was in my 20s and when I thought I was tired, I'm like I wasn't tired at all. Like I wish I was as tired as I was when I was 21. Because trust me, I was not tired at all. So I did a real cheesy live. I couldn't help but say it. I was like, I'm giving the gift of energy. And it just made me giggle and cringe all at the same time. But it's worked. It's funny because there are other people out there that would love to have a boost of energy. So I've been giving out the samples. So I've got a tub of the actual recharge and then I ordered the sticks and remembered I'd already ordered another box of the stuff. So I had these kind of spare. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to reinvest in my business. I'm going to give out these samples. And so I did it as a giveaway, a way in which I can boost my algorithm, I can get some engagement. And you know what it's also shown me? I have got a massive list. I've had about 54 comments, minus you guys that boosted it for me. Thank you very much. But those are people. I've got about five that I shipped out yesterday. I've got about another six that I need to ship out tomorrow. Um, so those people I'm going to be able to follow up with and just say, I gave you the gift of energy. What did you think to it? How did you get on with it? And I gave them two sachets as well. I didn't send them instructions because I want them to come to me and be like, I've received it. What do I do with it? So I can have that conversation. So that's a really clever way of doing it. Also, all those other people that participated in it, they only participated in it because they wanted to get it for free, because they want to try it, because they're interested in it, because they see that I drink it every day, because I show up every single day drinking it. So I've got now a list of people who I can then get in touch with, and I'll do that tomorrow and say, hi. Unfortunately, you didn't win the freebie. However, I would like to offer you a 5-day trial of the sticks, and I'll get a tub of it. I'll break it down and work out an appropriate cost, including shipping. And for like, I don't know, it's going to be less than £10, maybe like £6. I haven't worked out the logistics of it just yet, the prices. But basically, those people are more than likely going to try it. And a lot of the times, they need to get it in their hands, they need to get it into their body. And if you've tried Recharge, then you know. And you know that when they get it and they drink it in the morning and their energy is boosted and they're like, oh my God. And then you follow up with them, they are going to turn around and say to you, oh my God, this stuff is amazing. I've not had to get a Monster. I've not had a can of Red Bull. And you're like, brilliant, because that stuff's full of sugar and stuff and it's not great for you. I'm like, right, okay, this is how much a tub is. Um, this is how much it's gonna, how long it's gonna last you for. Yeah, so do you want one tub? Do you want two tubs? Talk to me, Goose. Where are we at? You know, you've got a potential customer there. And the reason why I'm saying this to you guys and not saving this sales tip for Wednesday night's call is because, again, lead by example, but also it's an example of you reinvesting in your business. And I think we need to normalize reinvesting in your business. A lot of the times when we are speaking to people about joining this industry, um, we are we're not really doing ourselves a favor because we say there's an initial outlay and there's no ongoing cost. There's, you know, it's just once you've made your money back, your initial investment, you're in pure profit. But we need to normalize reinvesting in your business because if you're joining this company and it's just as a hobby, and you treat it as a hobby and there's no further reinvestments, no further reinvestments of time or money or resources, then it's going to pay in the same way. And I can guarantee you, because this is from my own personal experience, you go to the events, you invest in going to the conventions, you get on these Zoom calls, you participate in incentives so that you can earn an Audible book for free. You invest in paying for the Audible subscription so you can learn. You buy books and you read them. You get on other people's Zooms. You know, you immerse yourself in the industry and that community of people who are there for that personal growth and that leveling of upskilling. And we need to get back to normalizing that. When you guys as a group of leaders do that, it's normalizing it, and then your team will do too. And this is just an example of how you can reinvest in your business. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to buy somebody £100 worth of products. I'm talking like £10, £20, £30 on some samples. Maybe get yourself the recharge sticks, add in some samples there, some makeup samples, and put them together. And of course, you can give these to existing customers. But ideally, when you're having these conversations with people and somebody says, no, I'm not interested, thank you very much, or it's not for me, or for whatever it is, you can turn around to them and say, look, okay then, can I please send you some samples for free of charge? Because you don't really, I know I've shown you the presentation and you've said no, but until you actually try these products, I don't think you know exactly what you're saying no to. And until you've tried them, I don't want you to make a decision because you could be passing up on something that's absolutely incredible for you. So at no cost to yourself, I'm going to send you some samples for you to try and then give me your feedback. And then if after you've tried them, you absolutely don't want to be involved in the brand at all as a customer or as an influencer, then that is absolutely fine. So I think that is something that we really, really need to be re normalizing. Just one moment, please, ladies. I think I'm getting a sore throat. All those kiddies with all those germs, it was bound to get to me at some point. Right. Okay, yes. So the next level is always going to be unlocked by what you choose to reinvest in today. I will say that again. That next level is always going to be unlocked by what you choose to reinvest in today. 100%. When I look at any pinnacle points where I had a shift personally or within my business over the past 10 years, it has been from getting in the rooms with other people who are already succeeding where I want to succeed, doing the having coaching calls, putting myself out there and having coaching calls with people who previously scared me a little bit because they were so amazing and I was all overwhelmed. And then it turns out that they're absolutely normal people, but they've just got loads of knowledge and then soaking that up. Getting books, going on Audible, going on YouTube. We're in an era of accessibility for information. If you want to learn how to play a guitar, you can teach yourself how to play a guitar. If you want to speak a foreign language, you can teach yourself a foreign language and you can do it for free. If you want to be a network marketing professional, if you want to be a better leader, if you want to be a better salesperson, anything, there are so many resources out there. Okay, and nobody's holding you back from going there and gathering that up. So I think going into 2026, we need to be setting the tone of not being passive with our own growth and the growth of our teams. Because if you're not reinvesting, then you're not going to be getting that growth. And if you're not getting any sort of growth in your business in terms of skill set leveling up, or that belief, or that growth in yourself, then you're just stagnating, really. And we don't want that. We absolutely don't want that. And I know you guys that are on the call, or those of you that are watching this on the replay, you absolutely don't want that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be spending your time when you could be out Christmas shopping, or I don't know, sat eating mince pies, watching telly and drinking Baileys. You could be doing that, but you're not. You're investing in this. So that is really good. And that is a discipline. That is a discipline. Um, right, okay, and let me go back. I told you I had my notes and then I went and wrote extra notes. So let me go back and have a look. So yes, I wanted to speak a little bit about the language you are using. And this is something where when I was having my moment of reflection earlier, which looked a lot like this, and confusion and cringing, because you can't, if you're not able to look back over your own social media and be critical of it and then cringe a little bit, then would you're not really in that growth mindset. And I look back, I do this when I look at my memories, I do this when I look at posts I wrote like an hour ago. I think, oh God, did I really say that? Did I mean to say that? Was like, or even when I've had a conversation with somebody, when I've offered the opportunity to somebody, like how many times have you, I don't use the word discount, but talking about pharmacy as a discounted brand, or affordable luxury brand, I think we need to step away from that, because as much it is affordable, it absolutely is, but I don't think that is a key word that we need to be speaking. I think we can knock that word on the head and just call it for what it is, a luxury brand. Don't mention affordable, because people associate affordable with cheap and cheap with nasty. And their level of affordability might not be the same. So I think if we just talk about our products for what they are luxury, and we represent a Turkish brand that holds it to high EU standards and quality. That's how we want to be talking about it. So have a look at the language that you're using in terms of like your posts, also with the conversations that you're having with people when you're offering the opportunity to them. Just have a look at the words, and don't dumb yourself down, because the last thing you want, right, is, a couple of weeks' time, because that's how long it is. You're in Madrid and you're sharing pictures of your checks, or you're sharing other leaders with pictures of their checks, and you're showing these people, your audience, how people are out there earning a full-time income and sometimes some people are, I can't wait to see Charlene's check, because that's just going to be silly. It's going to be ridiculous, like over hundreds of thousands of pounds. It's going to be a hell of a lot of money. And showing how people in this industry are making real life-changing money. But if you've gone in someone's inbox and you've said, "Oh, I'm just growing my little biz. Um, yeah, do you want to have a look at this site?" Or something you're not interested? Oh, that's fine. It's not for you. Oh, it's all affordable. Yeah, like you can get a mascara for less than a tenner. Then come on, that is not a message that is aligned with what we are talking about. We are a luxury brand, and we need to make sure that our language is exactly the same. And if language isn't for you, go use ChatGPT, go use Google, look for synonyms, have a list of key words that you want to use, key phrases. I'm going to mention something at the end, which I have noted down so I won't forget. Stormy, honestly, that woman, I was in all sorts of emotions and tears and all sorts. But she said, she reached out to somebody who is there. She's on a reality TV program. So obviously this kind of doesn't always translate, but you can get the gist. Her wording was, I'm a talent scout for a luxury brand based out of Turkey. And then she went in about how they're 75 years old, blah, 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 and all of that. But she said she called herself a talent scout. A talent scout, like how ego stroking is that? It's incredible. But if you're thinking that you want to attract some leaders, you want to attract some people who match your energy, your language needs to match it. You can't be dumbing your business down and playing it as like, it's, oh, my little small biz, oh, not bad for just like a little part-time biz. Let's look at our language and let's level it up and go into 2026 with that is something that we have leveled up. Um, that's just like an example to you. It is just like I said, this is just something that came to me upon my moment of reflection earlier. So I don't have any other poignant examples for you. And anyway, I think you have to go and do that work for yourself. You need to go and look at your social media, look back at messages, and do you know what? It doesn't matter if you cringe. And like, if someone was to sit and watch you and think, what on earth is she looking at? Because I do this and then I'm aware of it. It's like, when you've had a really drunken night out and the next day you get flashbacks and you're walking through Tesco and you're like, oh no, did I do that? It's like that. You're looking over your business and you're like, oh, did I do that? And you're pulling all those faces. You have to put yourself in those positions, and if you've not, then you've not had any sort of growth. And maybe you're the exception and you're absolutely incredible and your language is tippity top, but I doubt it. I don't think everybody is like that. I think we all have areas of opportunity. And my challenge to you, my task would be to just go back and have a look at old conversations you've had with people. Particularly one to look at is if you've seen somebody join somebody else and you wonder why didn't they join me, go back and have a look at the conversation you had. Look at the language you used. Then go look at your social media. Look at the way you are portraying this business. Are you selling a little business where you could earn 10, 20 quid? Or are you selling a business where you could be earning £100,000 a year and does your language marry up with that? I mean, it doesn't have to matter that it's not your reality right now. It's certainly not my reality, but it is one of my goals. And the only way that goal is going to become a reality is one, if I've got that belief in it. The only way that I'm going to have that true core belief is making sure that the language I'm using when I show up, the way in which I present myself when I'm just out there in public or with myself, is that it is massively aligned with what it is those massive goals are. So just have a little look at that. Um, Okay, and yeah, so your goal is to be the authority on your message. And the way that's going to happen is by making sure that you are sharp with your message, you're being disciplined with your resources, and you're intentional with your words. So knowing who it is that you're serving, refusing to dilute yourself. This is going to reinforce your consistent narrative. That's going to build trust and authority over time. It's going to take time, but the good thing is we have got that time. You don't have to be incredible overnight. Nobody is. Nobody is. There's always that period before that people seem to not really take notice over it until all of a sudden she's there on a stage with a check for £100,000 and they just think, oh wow, look at that overnight success. And it's not at all. The discipline that you're going to have, that is going to be what separates momentum from burnout, making sure that you're choosing your words that align with your vision. That's going to reinforce your credibility. Your clarity is going to build focus. So when you're clear on your message and everything we've spoken about this evening, everyone that is already in your team, they're already following you, you've already got some level of influence over you because they decided to join you in the first place. So they are going to take your lead, basically. They're going to lead by example. And that's going to help them stay focused. And we're all going to be able to stay focused on what that core message is and how that looks. Your discipline is going to sustain growth. So I've mentioned about investing and different ways in which that can look, and being disciplined in terms of reinvesting in your business. That is going to help sustain your level of growth, or at least kickstart that growth. And then your intentional language, that is going to amplify you as a leader, as a person of influence, and how you show up on social media. Because let's not forget, if we want to be, leveling up our teams and our businesses and stepping into that empowering leader, that inspirational leader, that knowledgeable leader, if we want to be stepping up into that, we need to be speaking with that belief in authority in the first place and to have gone through that process to get there. But also, what that's going to do is open yourself up publicly. So when you are attracting these people who want to have these conversations about the message that you're putting out there, you're going to find like-minded people who also want to be where you are. They aspire to be where you are. And this is how you're going to find your future leaders. These are who you're going to be growing up with. So that was just a little summary of what we've spoken about this evening. So the secret sauce, because I did say I was going to talk about the secret sauce of success, and this isn't anything new. And I've consistently shared this in my actions and my words for a long, long time, for the whole time that I've been doing these Zoom calls as well. And it's your energy. It's 100% your energy. Okay. So you could have the right words, you could have the right message, you could have it all figured out exactly what you're going to do. And you've got all the disciplines, you're reading the books, you're doing all this. But if you're showing up and you're flat as a pancake and you're a little bit dull, and there's just no spiciness at all to what you're saying, people, I forgot what I was going to say. See, they're going to just switch off. It's got to be about that energy. And that energy doesn't have to be all like woo, 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 and like standing up and delivering like that. You don't have to be preaching, doesn't have to be anything like that. But your energy has got to be like you're confident in what you're saying. You've got conviction, you've got passion, you believe in what you're saying. You know what it is you're trying to say. You've got that clarity. And you're crystal clear on what it is you're saying. And you give zero fluffs at all about who it is that you are going to alienate because you are only speaking to your niche target audience because those are the people who you are serving. Those are the people you're showing up for. You're doing it for them. And you've got to show up with that energy. That is how you are going to help people aspire to their greatest selves. That's how you're going to inspire them. How are you going to motivate them? How are you going to create that momentum in your business, get that growth, have that growth sustained, not have that burnout. You're going to have that momentum. That's how you're going to attract your new customers, your new audience, your new teammates, and all of that. And that's going to stem down to your energy. Right. So the final thing that I wanted to mention, I'm not sure if you've all seen it, but when you have hit 15% this month, if you haven't already qualified for Stormy's leadership training, you will qualify for it. So, me and Katie did have a discussion about what's best to do this because when we were given the replay, my first instinct is other people need to see this. But, excuse me, you had to qualify as at leadership level last month in order to get it. And a lot of people worked really, really hard to maintain that level or to achieve that level. So to just give it out to everybody is kind of devaluing the work that people put in previously. However, it's always a team effort when people do get to these higher ranks. And I know that there is going to be some people who I could share the link with and someone could watch it and do absolutely nothing with it. They'll do nothing with it. And that is such, I don't know, it's a waste. It's an absolute waste. So I would love to see as many people as possible earn that replay because honestly, I've mentioned a few snippets of what she said like tonight. Just a few snippets. I could have completely plagiarized it and pretended it was me, but I can't do that. I'm not good. Honestly, I'd be rubbish at poker. Just can't bluff. And I've got 3 pages here of absolutely incredible notes. And it's like a blueprint. And it's only like half an hour, 40 minutes that she was on that call. But it was just gold after gold after gold. But the thing is, it's an absolute waste of 40 minutes for anybody to access it to watch it, to take it in, to take inspiration and do nothing with it. Now, I think if you are at that level where you've pushed your business to get to 15%, then you probably are at that level where you're going to listen to what she says. You're going to take those notes and you're going to put it into action. So, yeah, if anybody has already got to 15%, let me know and I will share that replay with you. But let me know in the comments like who is going to run for 15% so you can get your hands on that link because honestly, it's incredible. Like the thing she said, some of it wasn't always new, But when you hear it from somebody who has got 18 plus years, who has earned over $70 million within that time, like that's just ridiculous amount. $70 million. Like I can't even like what does that even look like? What can you do with $70 million? A lot. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you learn a little bit about her. You listen to what she says. It brings it home. But she also threw in like loads of golden nuggets, and I was like, wow, I've never even thought of it like that. It was just insane. It was really, really good. So, right, I'm just going to have a look to see if there are any comments on here. If anyone has any questions or anyone's got anything to say, unmute yourself and say it. You don't have to, but if you have got anything to say, please do. Okay, we've got hi, hi, no, good evening, good evening. Hi, oh, yeah, recharge. Bloody love that stuff. Let's see. Went to a ladies' party and gave 6 people 1 bottle of collagen for free to try. You got 4 customers. That's amazing. Because honestly, unless they get it in their hands, they don't know what they're saying no to. Right? People need to try these products. And don't forget, Pharmacy is still a very new brand in the UK and Ireland. You know, like I've come from a brand where I'd spent like 5 years of it being new and getting it into people's hands, and to a point where people, oh yeah, I've heard of that brand before. Yeah, I've heard of it. Some people hadn't, but a lot of people on the whole had. Pharmacy, I still get people calling it Famazi. Like someone, I gave her a lift home from dance class, and she's like, "Oh, I still haven't opened my Famazi box." And I thought, "What on earth is a Famazi box?" It's like, "What are you talking about?" And then she told me, I'm like, "Right, no wonder you haven't opened your box yet because you haven't tried the products yet. Because if she'd have tried the products, she would have opened the box up. And if she'd have done that, she'd have been like, wow, this is amazing." Oh, hi, Alison. Hope you're doing well. There she is. Our newest Royalty Circle member, by the way. She's also a top seller in out of my sales league. And she's in hospital. She's been poorly. I can't hear you, Alison, because you're muted. She's been poorly for the last couple of weeks, but she's in hospital, and yet she's still on this call, and she's still sold over £900 wholesale already. Absolutely insane. Thanks, Sam. Okay, I think my throat's gonna give up soon. God. Oh God, it's like it's country. Oh my God. Apologies, right. I think that's me done. I don't think I can speak any longer. Oh my God, I always knew this day'd come. I spoke so much. I can't speak properly anymore. But yeah, right, okay. I hope that this call has been valuable. Thank you so much for taking your time out to come on it. Make sure that you do share it with the rest of your team. Even if they're not at 18% yet, share it with them because they might have got some golden nuggets, and it'll give them an idea of, what it is we discuss. It's no like secret club or anything where we're there talking about the team. It's hopefully it's all good and constructive and how we can just get the best out of people. We talk to people about coming on board because we want them to do well. And as leaders, as mentors, as sponsors, it's our responsibility really to ensure that they do get the best out of this opportunity and they soak up everything they can do. Right, I really can't speak anymore. So I'm going to get going, but thank you all. Did anyone get any photos? Let me take a quick photo before I pass out or something. But Alison, I hope you get well really, really soon. I hope you're home soon as well. Bless you. Kenny sent me the pictures of your arm and they don't look nice at all. So you look after yourself. And right, over and out. Thank you all so much and speak to you soon. Bye. Oh, and Merry Christmas. I'll see you next Tuesday.